I haven't met a perfect parent, and I doubt anyone else has. And we have all, said and done things that we worry about. But it is also true, as you highlight, that we all come with our own legacy of experiences. Sometimes that includes, more pain points and painful, adversities, including all types of trauma. And I think this is probably well known, but I think, again, it bears repetition, is trauma is actually fairly ubiquitous. And, there are certainly variations across communities and countries, but here in the United States, as an example, the rates of trauma we know, even by the age of 18, population-based studies show that the exposure to the experience of at least one traumatic event is somewhere upwards of, 65%, 75%. And again, experiencing trauma by itself doesn't mean that we will develop some of these mental health conditions or challenges. But my point in highlighting that was just to say there is a certain amount of shame and certainly guilt when it comes to parenting and thinking about our own role, what we could have done differently. But the first step is to acknowledge that we are very adaptable, and especially children. Even if we do say and do things, and especially now in the pandemic, we all have been under incredible stress. And that has certainly affected our parenting relationships. But there are ways, I think, to get help and support. So to that point, I would say, I think actually one of the most important things and powerful things that we are actually not that great at as caregivers is to get help and support for ourselves. I think one of the main things that I have learned about myself, but I always suspect it is true, and we know this from research and just human experiences, as caregivers, we think about our kids first. We might be caring for elderly parents. We have jobs to keep, but our own health and well-being is often right at the bottom of that priority list. But in fact, supporting kids is about building the resilience of the parents and the consistent caregivers, the people who care for kids, especially for young kids. So responsive relationships build resilience. And for me, that means parents getting their own sort of mental health care if they need it, or building practices that support their own well-being is really, really key.